I'm Margaret in Windsor, and this is Monday. It's maybe I better do this one again. I'm not feeling too good. I have a bacterial infection. My ears are bothering me. I can hardly hear. I'm on an antibiotic. Anyway, I wanted to put this up because one of the people on my YouTube commented on something a post I put up late yesterday afternoon in response to telling about Smokey Stover, who and about how I worked for him and doing books in 1973, 74. His office was in Smyrna, well, Marietta, where I live. They're connecting cities of outside, well, part of Atlanta almost. The reason I'm putting it up, I was speaking with a lady I know, a friend, and somehow that came up about Smokey Stover. And I was going back to that, about Elvis. She thought Elvis might still be alive. According to my information, he's not. He died the way they said it is, with some, well, not exactly, but I think he's dead. They didn't tell it exactly true at all, but in the manner he was in the bathroom and he was dating Ginger, and there's more to how he really died. But I don't think he's alive. But anyway, I was going back to when I was trying to tell her that maybe this man I worked for, because he was a guitarist and supposedly backed up Glenn, well, he knew Glenn Campbell and all these names, Chet Atkins, and he really did, because in the office, my point was going back and remembering. I thought maybe he could have insight to if Elvis were still alive. But then I started thinking, well, he had all these Elvis Presley gospel music on outside of his office. You go inside, and he had where he had won awards because he was a guitarist and he sang himself. He said his name was Smokey Stover. Now, why on earth was this arranged for me to work there, and what was I supposed to get out of it? Because this man calling himself Smokey Stover was about 6'3", nice looking man, and he had the hit supposedly in 1960 that was a million seller and didn't have much thereafter. I find it hard to believe there's two Smokey Stovers. Anyway, I went to Google and I found a Smokey Stover that sang country western, and he had records over the years, and he know all the top performers in country western. They're not the same person. I saw his background, his picture, the one I googled. It's not the man I worked for that called himself Smokey Stover and had all this in here. And the one thing he was telling me that there was supposed that the FBI said there was supposed to be a load of oh, I still can't. I'll have to Google that. Where the records are illegal. Now I don't know if they're not the real recording artist or what, but they were illegal. Now he was telling me that. So this looked legit to me. He owned something called Tiki Fences, and that sounds like it's, oh well, that's just a, and I guess it was, except he made really nice plaques for doors for offices, your name. They were really well made and expensive looking, and they made fences that were expensive. So anyway, the point of all that, I don't know actually, because he is not the Smokey Stovers I Google, and he was country western, born in Texas. This man saying he was Smokey Stover was born in Alabama, and he had an uncle that was way up in the Alabama state government. So I'm going to leave it there. What I've told is a horrifying life I've lived, and I always did care deeply for people, and that's part of what I always thought you should help people to the best that you could. And that shouldn't be something that you stopped and thought about. It's just automatic. You share and you help people. Well, a lot of people have been very nice certainly recently on YouTube, and I've been up on YouTube and Facebook for a long, long time, since 2012 on Facebook and 2013 on YouTube. So I just want to say this. I've gotten some nasties too, obviously. But I had one in response that kind of got me. I thought, my goodness, what have I, everything I've said on there, on YouTube's and Facebook, is true. It's the gospel truth. I've told the truth, and I've left out some that's so horrifying I haven't put it up, and I won't unless this is actually goes to court or is actually told. The media Illuminati that helped take my father down and kidnap me, they control the press. So if this is finally told, then the rest of this horror story will be told. And maybe this sounds minute, but it kind of still gets to me a little bit. This person, and I won't say her name, sent a post back on YouTube in reference to the Smokey Stover I put up last night. She says that she thinks that possibly I'm going into alternate realities. May have, and that means I Googled it to get the interpretation, downright definition, may have experienced events from another reality. Well, I assure you that anybody in what I've said, if they cared enough, they can go back and look up these days Tiki Fences, who was supposed to, I guess, I would think you could in Smyrna. You can go back and find out everything I've put on here. I have not experienced anything in an alternate anything. This happened to me, and that's the sad part of it all. It has not stopped. I am 79 years old. As it stands, I will, if my children are alive, I hope and pray that I get to see them again. I also hurt because of the years that I have not been able to see them. I don't know. They went through hell. There's no other word. Just like the hell I've gone through. Because I cared, and they're beautiful young men, and they cared. I'm their mother. They got my genes. That's all I'm going to say. I think after the horrifying life I've lived, and to tell it, and again, I've gotten some very nice people, and I've gotten some people that were, I don't know what they get their kicks out of, causing more pain. So I'm going to leave right at the moment. Well, right now, and maybe I shouldn't even got. I shouldn't this. I shouldn't, and I should have done that. Other people should have stepped in all this, and I really at this point wanted to make sure my father's name was cleared and my mom's, and to set history straight. So for those, I'm not saying goodbye. Maybe some wish I would. I'm sure there are those that would. I appreciate the kind words and everything that have been passed my way, and the others hurt because I've told the truth, because I cared. And that's all I'm going to say. But no, there's no alternate this or alternate that. So for somebody to even say that, they possibly are in an alternate whatever universe or memory or something. I don't know. Anyway, I assure this woman and everybody else that it happened. I work for a man called Smokey Stover, and obviously he's not the same man when I Google. So my point in putting it up is I don't know why. I had letters from the FBI in '79 because I'd written a book, and it was about mind control. Larry Flint was shot, and I've put up in '78, and I put up where he flew me out there during a campaign. And one of the doctors that I'd written about actually went down in the KAL August the 31st of '83. You can check all this out. You have to file the funds you get in the campaign with the Federal Election Commission. So any of this, me working for the district attorney in '80, all this you could check out. Now then, I'm going to just stop because I've got an inner ear infection, And I finally got to a doctor that would prescribe, and I went and picked up the medicine last Saturday. It's kind of storm here from all that in the Carolinas, so it was hard to get a ride. I had to pay a cab and everything, but I picked up some medicine for it. So I need to kind of rest a little bit. My hearing's bad. But I put this up because the only thing last night, and whether this has ever told all of it and it fits in, was I did the book and I'm trying to get it published. So I mailed it to different Revel. It went before their board. That's a religious or kind of book publisher. Anyway, I even sent it to the hearse before I found out that they were a part of my kidnapping. That's the Patty Hearst. She was kidnapped later. And it's part of that whole thing. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. And well, that's all I'm going to say right at the moment, I guess. And thank those of you who have supported me in your kindness. And I'm not gone. I just felt like I had to say this today. It still hurts, okay?